I mean, we've had our trials and tribulations through the mix, but at this point, feeling pretty comfortable with a certain layer size. But this begins the tour, so we just printed a bunch of sample walls, which is very much what they do here at the college in normal practice.
You know, what we do is a lot of different types of plaster. So whether you're talking about interior, which you see a couple interior models here, this is the interior finish here. That's one coat of a Venetian finish, which I'll want to talk a little bit more once we get up there, because there will be another coat which provides some modeling and then some burnishing, which makes it very shiny. The blue is a very appealing, eye-catching color, so we use that. But you can really make that stuff look like marble. It's fantastic. It's great. Besides that, right now what you're seeing is just kind of the base coats, and when we get around to the other side, they're doing some stenciling and actually making some stuff look like other things you might see. So yeah, we'll get over there. They're doing some brick stamps. And then also there's some wood grain texture. Yeah, so we'll get to see that in action.
Everyone's looking. They must be working on it right now.
Make you nervous a little bit.
Around the corner? I don't know, not nervous, excited.
We can. So just before we get over there, again, this is the base coat for the Venetian, but once it's all said and done, it will be shiny glass-like.
So you hit it with like an urethane finish or something?
Nope. This is just the material. You come back over and burnish it in and burn it, and that gloss will come out. Yeah, but when we talked about the modeling, it's just multiple layers. So once the other layer comes out, obviously it's just a little thicker here than it is here, and so you get those accenting colors there. This is high-end finish. We see this in, you know, luxury homes. You see it in the foyers of businesses and stuff if they don't want to have those big marble columns, or sometimes you think what's a marble column, it's Venetian.
Okay.
Also, you have a couple other samples over here that you'll kind of see over there as well, but so many different opportunities that you can make just with the basic plaster. We wanted these walls to be extremely flat and pleasing, so we used our corner beads, and that's why you couldn't tell that it was layered, right? It was a little bit interesting. So we talked, there's going to be other finishes here, but this is, right now, while we're here in this phase of it, you can just see a basic stucco, right? So basic stucco brown, same types of systems that we've been using for hundreds of years. Were a lot more popular before, but now that we have all these panelized finishes, we're seeing them kind of be replaced right now. But here in this arena, now that we're talking about doing it on 3D printed models, this is a very good option, because this creates a perfect key coat, and this is a way to coat and make sure we have a very maintenance friendly surface to have on our buildings exterior wise. This is the exterior finish. If you want to come down this way, we can kind of get into some of the interesting stuff here.
Can I ask a question about the exterior? Can you add color to these too?
Yeah, so this is just the base coat right here. So we brown this, and then when we get back over here, we'll show you what the finish coat comes through. And you can go pretty much any color, because it's integral color that you mix into the very basic base white. Same with this, which is just a recycled material. We box a few together to get a little closer to more of a wood. But the texture is really what we're focusing on here, right? If you guys want to get a peek, they're currently stamping some stone. We'll see how the unveiling is here.
Oh my gosh, this is
We'll let them figure it out. They're first one's an experiment.
I think it is worth experimenting.
This one right here,
I mean, they're doing, everything's been new every day that we've come back. We've been really we're like in the third quarter here. It's just getting amazing on the finishes and seeing.
I can tell you, from being a plasterer and doing this work out in the field, when I first
water?
Yeah, we're just trying to get it not to grab on the stamp, but trial and error obviously is how things go on out in the field, and trial. Look at you. But yeah, so many.
I didn't catch on to that.
So many times that I've been out in the field and seen, you know, having to make your own tools and figure something out on the fly. I've seen wood grain texture where, you know, you're going through and they're just freehanding that stuff, and you see a little knot in the wood. They're just taking their margin trowel and hitting it, and then coming back and knocking it down. And if you guys want to come back around, we got some other finishes, and we can get a better view of what they're doing too.
It's gonna really matter.
Not much. So we're gonna have some other finishes here, but I know Lindsay was talking about what does the finish coat on that stucco look like. This is just a basic sand finish, so this is what you're going to see, you know, on shopping centers, banks, you know, malls, that kind of stuff. And this is extremely easy to maintain. You come out here, pressure wash it off. So that's what I was saying, like on those north walls, you're going to get things like build up on dirt, moss, all that stuff. Pressure wash, it just stays looking good for a very long time. Obviously, base white's not always ideal. So we did put a model here with a darker color. That's just integral color. Okay. You know, you come through, they give you other things that you can integrate into this, like rain screens and stuff, right? So I could definitely think about a process where you're layering it instead of, you know how they put down those masonry ladders and putting pegs out too, that stick out, and then putting lath on there, and then you're having that rain screen gap between your... Yeah, so we were kind of talking about that, but it's not it's not something that's really been engineered or spec'd in. Layer. Nothing's stopping you from putting down a piece of flashing, almost like a through wall detail, and then just putting another layer over the top of it. So then you just have a little weep edge out, and then when water comes down, it has somewhere to come out at, and the rest of everything it stays dry. So those are just, you know, again, concepts, and just like they're experimenting now with different stamps and stencils, what works, we'll know. That's been the best part about this whole process, I think, is the science.
I think it really is, and just being able to kind of...
I think that was, they put their texture on, and now they're putting their actual stencil for the... Yeah, I would.
Yeah, so what happened to
it?
it? Yeah, tell.
Like slowly,
I want to
I'm
learn
curious
more.
what the
Yeah, really just weight, right? Weight and gravity. So just like you would think, it just ends up toppling over. And
It's like an ice cream machine going
100%.
crazy.
And so it was on a layer, and it started to fall over. And then what you have here, down here, was the machine kept running, right? That's why you got the squigglies.
Yeah.
It
Once
kept
you push
printing.
stop,
So
you have
it
to.
was a foot up, thinking there was a barrel
Yep.
anchor there.
Yep,
And
was
it
still
has to run
running.
out all that material that's
Right.
between that.
Oh, that's right.
Still,
What's-
yeah,
well,
you have to
something
have
like
a
this
bin.
happens in the field, like,
You just bring
Yeah,
a bin.
exactly.
Those
Stop.
bins over there,
So
having them next to it, that's what you do.
So you're really kind of getting into why we believe and feel like we're really well suited for this work, because this is so close to the work that we already do, already using the same equipment, pumps and stuff. The difference is integrating the arm in the technology, right? To have the 3D stuff, but knowing and being able to recognize the characteristics of the material as it's coming out of the nozzle is what's going to give you a successful print or not. If you think that you're just going to come and throw some guys together, the machine's going to do all the work, you know, you're talking about a couple tenths of water off from having this happening, or, you know, potentially being a couple minutes off of leaving the system live in the line and losing the hose, you know, having to chip out your mixer and having a bad time. So yeah, we really think that we're well suited for this. And again, going back to the partnership between material, architecture, the companies, I think with labor is important to have everybody at the table. Look, this is what works. That way when we're going out, we're not giving the industry a black eye. And for me, as someone that's used to pumping, I was scared to death. Seeing something that heavy go through the line here, knowing it was in the line. And so I was a little bit panicked at first, but after working with the material, again, knowing how materials act and the characteristics.
Are you using water generally to make adjustments?
Yes.
Back there? That's water, mostly water.
Well, it depends on this material. It has a specific heat that it likes to be at. To be setting up to get to that set at the layers. So we're, again, having somebody that understands the material and knows what to look for. That way you're constantly going down the line and checking these specs as you go. And yes, we made a few adjustments as we were going to either bring that heat down or to bring it up. Some with water temperature, some with just a little bit of extra spinning. And then other stuff too is we noticed that over time you get some buildup in the mixer, you get some buildup in the hopper. Obviously, that ends up being a catalyst to the fresher material. So finding a when to wet down and slick up the hopper a little bit to make sure that next batch is coming through right and not setting off too early in that line. But just small adjustments.
That was another piece that we did that we're going to finish.
Just
It's
saw
just
that.
got
That's
a little
pretty
bit of a. It's interesting. If anything affected this one, it was kind of the design. It's and we wouldn't have run. You can see the nozzle is kind of running into itself a little bit, and then it would get going again. For me, I still love the form, and I look forward to getting it finished. The original design was to try to meet the standards for the city of Seattle bioplanter, and I think we can probably do that. I'm hoping without a double wall system, but I mean it also is similar to what I'm thinking for spas and things, being able to insulate in there and help keep spas warmer. And do custom spas. It's a little small, but cold plunge. Cool.
That's a perfect
There you go.
This whole
for
plunge.
diploid stuff, yeah.
In order to do the double wall,
Oh, this was all printed at once.
yeah, this is all printed at once. No, this took a little while, like 2.5 hours, but it's printing like this.
Got it.
And it was just bumping into each other, and then we also we kind of had this is a form that pushes limits right now.
Okay.
However, with different nozzles you can do different things. So here we were sort of showing this tapered bowl, and I think that the finish of it is probably, to me, not quality enough to just take it as the layered look, but I think as we got better and maybe modified some of the design things that we did and different choices, I also envision it as just one layer.
Just to bring it back for you
Yeah,
here,
we're learning.
Going through and plastering this outside, you can
Oh,
really
I know
cover
you-
up
I
a
know you
lot
can
of
make it
the
amazing.
imperfections and stuff. So,
Kohler will be calling us now.
but yeah, I would love to see what a commercial application would be, because I think it would be, it's ideal. Again, this is the perfect key coat here. So, in a typical plaster stucco set is 3/4 of an inch. You got 3/8 inch of scratch coat, and then you come back over with a 3/8 inch of brown. So on this, we don't have to do that. On the trimmed layer you guys saw over there, that's just a 1/2 inch trim. So you have your pretty much 3/8, right? You have your 1/2 inch brown coat over the top there.
Well, I've actually heard a lot of architects love the layered look too. I think it just needs to inspire all minds.
The cross stitching is interesting. I don't know if we had a chance
Texture by design
to
is what
see
we
that.
talked.
Yeah, that was really cool.
All right, well, let's go back in and look at the machine itself and see what they're up to. I kind of imagine they're doing dry runs soon. Might be tinkering with. It's pretty interesting. Really amazing to see everybody just pick it up and run with it. If you have any 3D background, it seems to be pretty easy to kind of understand how to operate it. X, Y, Z.
With this setup is this would drive to the site and print the item on site, or you're printing it and moving it on rollers.
So this chassis is for moving it on site.